the issue is here is in the future, there will be no labor. So it can't be a battle between capital and labor because the labor is the AI and the robots. The battle is going to be how fast we want to accept this technological change. But if you realize how fast this is all happening, how fast AI is developing, we will be at AGI by the time the presidency changes. We will have gone to Mars by the time the presidency changes. We will have one man owning the largest private communications network in the world by the time this finishes. We will have crypto adopted in the financial system.
The world is evolving at an unprecedented pace. According to Raoul Pal, CEO of Real Vision and seasoned macro analyst, AI will replace all labor, and crypto will dominate the financial system before the next presidency conclude. Pal emphasizes that the key issue ahead is that traditional labor, as we know it, will no longer exist. The real conflict will shift from the battle between capital and labor to the challenge of adapting quickly to the rise of AI and automation. As AI and robotics continue to advance, human labor will be replaced, and the focus will move from traditional workforces to technology-driven systems. By the time this technological revolution fully unfolds, Pal predicts that crypto will be seamlessly integrated into how we manage and exchange value, as it is the only system capable of keeping up with the speed of these changes. Stay tuned until the end of the video, where Pal shares even more valuable insights you won't want to miss.
Stop. You don't have time. Don't miss out this 2025 bull run. Educate yourself first ahead of the crowd. We have created the ultimate step-by-step crypto cheat guide that will guide you this bull run. Unlock the secrets of crypto and make smarter investments today. Now by clicking on the link below to get your exclusive copy just under $10.
So this is why the Super PAC has raised another $110 billion for the midterms. This is their one shot at a free run of completely changing the course of history. So it's not about politics. It's not about woke versus this and all the things we think it is. This is going to be the fastest pace of change in a 4-year period I think humanity's ever lived through. And nobody's ready for it. Everybody felt left behind. Right? Nobody could buy a house. Everybody felt let down by the economic system. That was at Occupy Wall Street. That was, the Indignados in Spain when 4 million people marched on the streets of Madrid. It's all the same thing. And the politics has been split between, in the US, the middle Americans and the coastal Americans, both feeling pissed off and left behind and blaming each other. And the parties have fed that. But it was never the problem. The problem was the demographics. So now we've got the answer to the problem, but people don't want that, will not want this either. And so, as you said, we're setting up for the new conflict. So the old conflicts was the demographics. From World War II, too many baby boomers caused the entire structure of our society. Everything that we understand today was driven by the baby boom cohort, and we're just about to change everything to be driven by the AI cohort, which is bizarre to think about it. And then who is going to be arguing on the side for the rights for the AI? We're already seeing, I've spent a long time going the rabbit hole of AI consciousness, and it appears to be emerging. However you define it, whatever, there's weird shit going on that sooner or later we will get to a point that we get to with slaves, animals, and other things is, do we have the right to treat them in a way that we do? Do we have a right to not allow them to hold memory for long enough? Do we have the, we've seen this battle before. It was Descartes who suggested that dogs don't have consciousness or feelings. And that was a standard viewpoint for about 200 years until we realized that was the terrible wrong idea. And in fact, we were torturing these creatures. So, are we going to try and torture the AI? The problem is the AI is all powerful. So these questions are what we're going to be battling over in 10, 15 years' time. Is there's going to be a bunch of liberals or freedomists, which kind of it's back to the old liberal mentality, saying, Christ, we can't treat these machines like this, or these new consciousnesses like this. And there's a bunch of others say, work harder, shut them up. It's going to be a bizarro world. By the time we start adding all of this technology in, I don't know what it means. And so all I know is in 10 years' time, it'll not be you and me, it'll be our AIs. I've got an AI avatar on Real Vision right now that reads the daily news, which is a video of me. And by next week, there will be a Raoul voice chatbot trained on my entire Twitter feed, all my YouTube, and 100 books I've fed it. I haven't even put GMI into it yet. And in my voice, you can chat to me, ask me any question. So, I have no understanding what this means, because we will all have our own personal AIs. And who's running who at that point? How powerful is our AI? All of this stuff. So anyway, my simple idea is make as much money as you can for the next 6 years, because then you can secure lifestyle. You've got your house, you've met your Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's a lot easier to deal with change. And the fourth churning says, this change is going to be very difficult for society to deal with. So let's cover the hierarchy of needs first, and then we can feel secure in doing it. And that what leads you back again to this whole idea that crypto is the easiest way to unfuck your future, because it's the asset that actually makes up for all of the lost time that we've all had. We have an entire new system we have to rebuild, and people haven't started to think. People have started to talk about it. Deep thinkers are thinking about it, but the political class has not got their head around this yet. So yes, we solve all of the debt issues. It goes away. And we've seen this once before. We saw it after World War II. It's a rerun of after World War II. World War II, as opposed to introducing AI and robots, we introduced the baby boomers, the largest cohort the world has ever seen. And by the time they got into their 20s, they created inflation because there was a bunch of them competing for assets. And by the time they got into their 30s and started saving, they created the largest asset boom the world has ever seen, the baby boomer industrial savings complex, or retirement complex. And that has been the defining function. And what happened was the massive debts of World War II, they had financial repression by yield curve control. We didn't have high inflation, but we just kept running financial repression. And then technology created a productivity miracle, and you added population, and it was all solved. And then we started it all over again because we're humans and we love debt more than anything else. In fact, we probably love debt more than sex. I always said sex and debt, but if you figure out the aging population, it's telling us we prefer debt to having sex. So
Iran is shifting towards regulating cryptocurrencies rather than banning them, according to Economic Affairs Minister Abdul Nasser Hadi. He stated that the goal is to manage the negative economic impacts of crypto while harnessing its benefit. The Iranian central bank is overseeing these efforts, with Hadi hopeful that crypto could help boost youth employment, counter U.S. sanctions, and improve Iran's connection to the global economy. The Central Bank of Iran has also outlined plans to create policies for crypto traders, focusing on tax compliance and anti-money laundering measures. Economists estimate that Iranians hold between $30 billion to $50 billion in crypto, which accounts for about a third of the country's gold market. This move is expected to make crypto more mainstream and potentially increase its value. What are your thoughts on this development? Let us know in the comments below. Now, let's return to the video as Raoul Pal shares more valuable insight.
But it's really simple. It's a $3 trillion, well, it keeps moving every time I say this. It's now $3.5 trillion. But let's call it $3 trillion because it's easy math. $3 trillion asset. It goes to $100 trillion, at least, within 10 years. That's just extrapolating out the trend rate of growth. I'm not doing anything crazy, wild things. It's been growing like this. And yes, growth will slow over time, but then we've got AI agents who are going to be using this stuff as well. So fuck knows how fast this thing continues to grow. So here's this big wealth generating machine, the fastest growing asset, the best performance of any asset in history, keeps going. We get to 100 trillion within 10 years. So we're only 3% of the way there. Think of how much wealth this is going to generate for humanity. What? I'm saying $97 trillion. Let's assume you think, and probably rightly so, Raoul's an utter moron, I'm going to halve it. That's still 50 trillion, which is 100 years of value accrual of the S&P 500, of all the largest companies in America. People have no comprehension of this. Well, because if you add derivative markets, which are 1 quadrillion, FX markets, they probably trade a quadrillion a year or more, add in the global bond market at about 300 or 400 billion, the global real estate market at about 300 billion, trillions with a T. Global equities like 200 trillion. I mean, This is La La Land. And then we haven't got the activity created on chain by agents using it for economic activity, or us putting everything, all contracts online, or us using it for, I guess deeds and stuff are contracts. But yeah, it's the architecture for the digital age. It's as simple as that. And people think it's all about currencies, cryptocurrencies and NFTs. What we're seeing is just vast, rapid experimentation with use cases. Memes are speed testing the ability to spin up a token for multiple cases, thinking about how we can tokenize culture, giving us a future work where we can be part of something. There's a lot of testing going on, but fuck me, we've battle tested these chains. I mean, they're launching 100,000 tokens a day or something stupid.
I know.
And we did the same with DeFi. You know, we keep battle testing it, it breaks. We keep doing it and doing it and doing it really fast. NFTs, we speed tested. Okay, does this technology work? Yeah, it did work really well. But was that the future form? No, that was the first form. And my pinned tweet, I wrote about this back in 2020, or 2021, this exact phenomenon. I've been commenting on it and commenting on it. People still don't understand. Speculation is the new norm. The reason being is nobody can afford a house. It's really interesting. Every time I make a video about housing, the clip from my Stephen, what's his name one, the Diary of a CEO, the massive podcast I was on, the clip that came out of that about don't buy a house or a house is not an investment, like 5 million views. Because people can't get to that step. So then you've got some savings, but not enough to buy the house. You're probably paying into your 401k anyway, because your employer matches it. So you think, fuck it. The only way of getting there is gambling. But we're also blessed with two mega secular trends. You know, the NASDAQ outperforms the rest of the equity market, and these millennials discovered, the millennial cohort discovered options on Robinhood. So they super goose the performance. Yeah, but they don't mind getting them wrong because they also grew up on gaming. So they understand this. I was in a documentary, it's on Netflix, called The New Americans, Gaming a Revolution. It's all about this. It becomes gaming. So that is the speculative activity, and it's not going away. And crypto gave them the other way. I mean, I saw that yesterday, the XRP thing. I got that wrong, and it was stupid of me not to get the trade wrong, to not realize how many ordinary people's hopes and dreams are in that one thing.
I know. It was so obvious.
Yeah, I mean, it really is their hopes and dreams. And for me to say, yeah, I got it wrong, blah, 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 made them feel validated. Because the systems let them down. You listen to all of the XRP people's stories, and it's like, yeah, I get this. This is huge. So yes, the structure has entirely changed, which is why the left curve is the right curve. And all of the mid curve, and you and I have chatted about mid curve. The mid curve is the old way, and it doesn't work. But the mid curvers, the issue is the mid curvers get further and further and further entrenched into saying, well, it's all going to mean revert. I'm like, how can it? It doesn't make sense. Not with the debasement of currency, not with the secular trend in technology. I mean, how much capital do you want to destroy trading small caps or value stocks? You know, who for? A bunch of rich boomers. But most of the boomers, the median boomer in America has 150 grand in their pension. The median. Because everyone shows the average, which is like 1.5 million. The median, totally 150 grand, they're so fucked.
With savings often falling short of purchasing homes and retirement accounts offering limited returns, many have turned to high-risk strategies like options trading, driven by trends such as the NASDAQ's strong performance and the rise of platforms like Robinhood. As millennials increasingly embrace speculative investing through options and crypto, and traditional methods become less effective, it's evident that the financial system is undergoing a significant transformation. For Pal, this shift means embracing the future, even if it challenges established beliefs and practices. For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.